this afternoon Gabriel Imthum, whose title is Pop Songs as Learning of Jazz. Please welcome him.
My name is Gabriel, as mentioned. I'm coming from Switzerland. I've been teaching for 20 years at different secondary schools in Switzerland. In addition, I work as a lecturer and researcher at the University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Northwestern Switzerland, FHNW, at the chair of music education in adolescence. My research team is Succeed Conditions for Singing in Formal Music Education. Today, I would like to present the findings of my 20 years of practical experience. The Swiss education system, let's go. Okay. The Swiss education system splits secondary school in 2 or 3 levels. Until last summer, I have been teaching on the first level, which is like gymnasium in other countries. Last summer, I took the challenge to teach on a lower level of education at a secondary school. There I teach 7th to 9th grade students. I was well aware that motivation and skills are on a deeper level in the new school. But the main reason for this challenge were the students we train at our university, because most of them will later teach 2nd and 3rd level pupils. So it has been very important to learn and to understand the future teaching situation of our students. I bring some greetings from the small choir of my school. As you will see, it was not successful in some aspect of vocal and choral skills. The biggest challenge is always to create a learning situation after 9 lessons during the whole day. At least they have some self-confidence to sing for you. So. Okay, this video shows already some of the problems I have to deal with it in the school. My presentation has 5 parts. In my preliminary remarks, I will talk about the situation in Switzerland and my personal environment. The second part will try to answer the question why the use of pop songs as learning objects will bring some positive aspects in the classroom. The third part will describe my workflow with the pupils. The fourth part presents a method for motivating pupils in challenging situations on lower level education. It's a competency grid that shows development possibilities. Finally, I compare my experience with a survey of a student. So, next part. Switzerland stands for quality. At least we would like to sell this picture. You all know Swiss clocks and the Swiss Army knife. The PISA study shows a good ranking of our education system, but the tradition in music education is disappearing. We have a lot of children playing an instrument, but we do not have a strong tradition with youth choirs. In formal music education, the picture is even worse. In places with local tradition and talented teachers, singing is a part of social life in school. But there are also a lot of schools where music and singing takes up little space and has no positive effect on class dynamics and individual vocal skills. Singing needs a tradition where pupils know the teacher and the curricular requirements are accepted. When I started in the new school last summer, I realized quickly that the only accepted element of music lessons was singing. Whenever I started with something different, they complained. Unfortunately, I expected that their singing as well. But all I got was campfire singing. To deal with this was and is quite a challenge. The second part. Why do I use pop songs? Most young people listen to popular music. Me too. 40 years ago, the legitimacy of the use of popular music in music education has been discussed in the didactics. I do not repeat this discussion today because the following aspects seem much more important to me. One didactic principle is to create a relevance to everyday life for pupils in lessons. The obvious reason to sing pop songs is the fact that pupils listen to this music all day long. They know it. Perhaps they cannot talk about formal principles of popular music, but they have an expertise, and as a teacher, I should make use of it. Then, finally, there's another reason. Children learn songs very quickly by ear. We try that out later. When you compare this fact with the music learning theory of Edwin Gordon, you see that listening to and producing music is the starting point. Reading and writing comes in the end, after building musical models, naming them, and learning to reproduce the models. With pop songs, I can work in the lessons without musical notes, and this means without the handicap of most of my pupils. They can't yet read music, and they might never learn it if their lack of interest persists. Learning songs by ear and sing it from memory is a common practice in popular music. Finally, individualization is a social phenomenon and a key concept in modern schools. Pupils are not used anymore to have no choice. For the society today, having a choice is a must, but it makes it difficult in formal music education to sing in groups. There is a need to respond to this circumstance. I am convinced that it makes it easier for teenagers to train performance and vocal skills with a song of their own choice. I must mention that the use of pop songs also generates problems. The favorite song might not be the right one to train vocal skills. Also, pupils often choose the right one. Another problem is the use of racist, violent, and pornographic content in songs. This cannot be accepted in formal school education, although this kind of language is normal for a specific group of young people. One of my favorite songs is She Will Be Loved from Maroon 5. Let's sing the chorus together. Unfortunately, you cannot choose now. We will do it without musical notes. The only thing I give, the only thing is the text. So, normally in school, I do this later, I use the piano and my voice Today I have only my voice. I need a pitch. Okay. So, no. It's a man who sings this song, and he sings very high. So, women, please sing lower than I, 1 octave. And men, you sing lower or in my pitch. No, I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, and she will be loved. Now we do line per line together. Please help me. I don't mind spending every day again. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Again. Out in the corner in the pouring rain. From the beginning. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while. We repeat the whole thing. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, and she will be loved. Okay, the end again. 1, 2, and she will be loved, and she will be loved. Thank you very much. We do it again later with some other effects. Okay. Now the third part of my presentation, the workflow that I have with my pupils. In the last chapter, I tried to argue for the use of pop songs. In this part, I'm talking about the aspect of how singing can belong to everyone. A common opinion in Switzerland is to be happy as soon as the teacher is not the only one who sings in a classroom. For me, that is not enough. Many years, I worked with the following workflow to make everybody sing. My approach has 2 dimensions. The first one is obvious. Pupils have to work on vocal skills and strengthen their voice. The second dimension is the challenge to present the voice, to perform. We start in small groups and try to reach a solo performance in the end of the school time. Both dimensions are situated somewhere between training skills and the development of the young people's personality. The first step, train together by practicing a pop song. What we did before. Pupils often prefer to listen to the song and sing it to a YouTube playback. They have it in their pocket, the YouTube playback. Everybody can listen to it and sing with it. I prefer to present the song with piano and voice and train it with call and response, like we did. Later, the song must be learned by heart, and often I train it in a choral way on stage. In this first step, I train up to 4 or 5 songs. On this basis, pupils can choose later on. Okay, now I think pupils can learn it very fast, and I want to see if you know it. Okay? So do we have the pitch? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girls with the broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, and she will be Was it? Was it okay? Huh? This is one thing I think pupils are very fast. They know the text very fast, and that's one positive thing. So I often work on the text, and then we talk about what's in the text, and this is later. Okay, to the second step. I use the song as material to train vocal skills. As soon as parts of song are learned by heart, I use it to train vocal skills like dynamics, different ranges and styles, discussing and training emotional aspects of the song, and try out second voices. I'd like to try out with you a second and a third voice. Is that okay? First, we do a second voice below the first voice. This is also common in pop music. One second voice below, third voice up there. Okay. The first voice is, I don't mind. The second voice, I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Try out. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Perhaps all the men can sing this one. No. And the women sing the first line, so that it's already one thing. I don't mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. It's weird, huh? But when the third voice is together, then we have it. And the third voice is up. I try it in the high, although it's a little bit high. I need to catch the right pitch, I think. No, I don't mind. And the third voice, I don't mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and then together, everybody in one voice. And she will be loved. Okay, from the beginning, without piano, sometimes it's not that easy. Okay. No, I don't mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with the broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, and she will be loved. With a good singing class, this is possible in my level of education. Okay, let's come back. The third step for me is the most important one. Okay, I have to follow up. Individual group training in groups of 2 to 4 pupils. For me, this step is the most important. While the other pupils train their own song or do working sheets with other themes, small groups or individuals come to the piano and sing for me. I made a little video with some of these situations. You will see 2 girls totally ashamed. I only took a very short piece of that. And then 2 boys without a lot of body tonus. After that, there are 2 girls who are motivated and sing small solo parts, followed by 3 girls doing also a good job. This is the thing I could get out of the pupils after this half a year. So let's see. They are ashamed. You see what I mean. They are not comfortable.
Du siehst so traurig aus, als wäre jemand gestorben. Wie kann das sein? Eine hübsche Frau mit Augen wie du. Du bist ganz allein am Sonntagmorgen.
I have problems with the Swiss-German text and also with motivation and everything.
This ain't the song for the broken-hearted. We'll celebrate for the 50 party.
I ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud.
It's my life, it's now or never. I'm gonna live forever. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life, my heart is like an open highway. My friends is had a minute my way. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life.
In this individual group training, the focus lies on the positive feedback. Normally, I do not talk a lot about vocal skills. I try to show that the body tonus is too low or the articulation must be more accurate. As soon as I work on one point, the progress starts. Some young people need to strengthen their courage to sing in front of people. Others need guidance on how their singing can evolve, and still others can already begin to recharge the song emotionally. With my approach, my job as a teacher turns to be a coach rather than being a Kapellmeister, a band leader or conductor. Sometimes I am under the impression that the development of the personality has a greater influence in this age at the singing than the vocal training. Sometimes I hope that my teaching style has an effect on the personality. Individual feedback helps in both situations. Step 4. Stage performance. In the end, I always let pupils sing on stage in front of the class. On the one hand, I want to train the audience to be encouraging and attentive. On the other hand, this is the training for performance skills. Groups of 3 and 4 people rarely have problems on stage. The challenge starts with the solo performance. Not everyone will reach this level, but everyone should reach the stage. My concession in the last years was to split the classes in 2 groups, male and female. This made it a lot easier even in the training. There is one negative point with individualization. As soon as the formative assessment, I mean the coaching situation turns into a summative assessment, all the positive steps eventually will be lost. Comparing the pupils and grading them has the potential to disappoint and frustrate the pupils that just started to take courage. In my 4th part, I tell you about the last half year. Lately, I had to change this way of working. When I started as a teacher, there were only few pupils who refused to sing. After a while, after building a tradition in the school, everybody stand in front of the class and sang. Today, I get more and more problems with shame. Young people are not ashamed to wear sexy clothes or to discuss every instruction, but they are ashamed to sing. I see 2 current trends. Singing in groups works better when I split male and female. It needs a lot of work to break down established attitudes, in particular the meaning of we cannot sing. In Switzerland, a lot of choirs shrink. Young people do not join men's or women's choir in the village. Only few schools have children's choir. People are watching talent shows and are therefore not motivated to get active themselves. In my classes, I have again and again pupils who claim not to be able to sing. I'm sure they talk about shame and not abilities. In Switzerland, a new curriculum is on the way. The subject of music will have 6 competencies. One of them is sing and speak. The skills described should be accessible for all. This and the previous observation lead me to believe that I'm right when I want to bring the singing to everyone in my classes. My training should reach everybody, but everyone has different vocal skills and is on a different level of willingness and readiness. One answer for this challenge is the competency grid. How does it work? I try to split the singing into different aspects and describe different competency levels. Let me make an example. The first row takes the aspect of shame and courage. Singing has a lot to do with courage, and you can train this. In the lowest competency level, the student reads, "I only sing when I'm alone." And in the highest level, I sing on stage in front of my class. So, and there are a couple of other levels in the middle. In this way, I also describe different levels of voice development, sense for rhythm, exact tone pitch, phrasing aspects, and performance skills. I use the competency grid as a diagnostic instrument and to show development possibilities. How do I use it in the classroom? I currently have a class where all the girls think they cannot sing. Even in small groups of 3 girls, they are not willing to present their voice. You only hear light and breathy tones. I was about to give up. Then I gave them the competency grid to show them where they stand, but also to show a possible way of development. And when the first line, the shame, is so high that they can't sing before me or before the others, I tell them, sing at home and sing it with your Natel, your iPhone, and send the result to me, and then we talk about it. That's one possibility to have the first line out of the system. I always try to convince the girls that I believe they have more abilities. I now see the first signs of growing self-confidence and well-being. It will need a lot more time to break down their established attitude. In the end, I have some subsuming thoughts. Whenever I work with classes, I can see individuals that bloom. Whenever pupils forget to be cool and just sing, positive dynamics start. Other kids listen and then stare at the performing ones. They are stunning, not expecting such a good performance. In such situations, I often hear the sentence, "We didn't know that you can sing." I'll wait for this moment in each new class. As soon as it happens, my work is much easier. The momentum also helps less talented singers to rehearse more and to find the courage to sing. A motivating and helping atmosphere evolves. I claim that this happens because pupils have the chance to choose to sing stuff they know and because they get individual feedback. One answer for increasingly heterogeneous classes is to change the choral singing style in classrooms to individualizing performance projects. Overall, my approach is a counterpoint to the current practice in Switzerland of singing songs with the whole class and paying little attention to the problematic singers. Is this uncertain? In discussions with students, I am often asked whether it is normal that the teacher plays the piano and sings a song while pupils sing along more or less enthusiastic. When I hear that, I imagine again a campfire, someone strumming the guitar and people humming songs. This is not a stimulating situation where skills are promoted and trained. 10 or 20 years ago, this might have worked fine, but in a changing society, as mentioned before, we need a different approach to sing informal music education. Perhaps this is totally different in countries like Hungary, where a continuous vocal education takes place during the whole school time. But in a situation where a teacher has to address a heterogeneous situation and needs to argue for singing in a class, the presented method is hopefully a reasonable way. A student of mine made a survey with about 200 pupils about the correlation between motivation in singing classes and self-concept of singing. He was able to show coherence between motivation and self-concept. Pupils who think they cannot sing have little motivation. This is also my experience. But my question is, how is it that kids think they cannot sing? Who told them? Was it these talent shows? We had it in Germany and Switzerland. No, you cannot sing. Sorry. No. As I tried to show before, it is a hard work to convince them of the opposite. Pupils with a positive self-concept have a lot of motivation and bring a positive dynamic in the classroom. In addition, my student was able to show that the experience of vocal development leads to more motivation. For me, that is another argument for an approach with individual feedback in singing education. It brings positive energy to individuals and thus to the whole class. My approach is also a counterpoint to the concept of letting uninterested students do other work. When all learn the one-to-one at school, they must learn singing well. Singing pop songs and having the choice to choose might be one key to improve challenging circumstances in classrooms. We must generate a situation where pupils have the chance to work on their low self-concept and start to work on vocal and performance skills. After that, they are hopefully better motivated to join a choir. With this, I come to the end of my presentation. I strongly hope that I have been able to convince you that the use of pop songs and an individualizing workflow in singing classes leads to highly motivated pupils with increased self-confidence. Thank you for your attention. There might be some questions. Perhaps my English wasn't that clear. Yes, please.
So, if you are working with 3 students, what do you do with the rest of the students in the class?
Okay. In the moment, normally I work with all the girls in the classroom. Some of them are with the piano, with me, and working and singing. And the other ones are in the room, in their group, and learning songs by heart and working on this. And the boys in this situation are outside doing something different, like filling out a working sheet, or in the first stage, they have to train the song themselves. It needs time. Sometimes they choose an own song that we didn't train, and it takes longer, so they need time on their own. I don't see hands. Okay. Thank you.
Can you tell us, please, how many singing lessons do you have in a week?
Yes?
Those kids, have they learned in the lower levels also?
Okay. So the first aspect you mentioned, we have in the first level of education in secondary school, from 7th to 9th grade, we have 2 lessons. And now in the lower level of education, I have 1 lesson in 1 week. So this is not a lot. And this is not a lot to start again 1 week later when you build something up. And in the primary school, my experience is this, that a talented primary teacher who loves music, he sings a lot because he knows all the aspects that we already hear today, and use it for concentration and everything. And these pupils, when they come to me, they know already a lot of the things that I train in this competency grade. But we have a lot of primary teachers who are not well trained in music, and perhaps they sing a little bit. Perhaps they put in a CD and do a little playback. That's all. A colleague of mine who makes a voice clinic in our university, he has a lot of primary teachers coming, students, not teachers, students coming, and they are not able to sing a 5-tone phrase properly with pitch. So we have, it's a mess. Is that the answer? Yes?
So it's in primary school, you don't have a music teacher, you have just a class teacher.
Yes. We have in the beginning, in kindergarten at 1st grade, there is one lesson with a music teacher, like musikalische Grundschule in German, the first things in music, and but then they have no music teacher. Sometimes they lend the lessons to the one teacher who is good, or sometimes now it's growing that we have teachers that do a choir and the Musikgrundschule and some music lessons in one primary school. And that would be great, but that's not common. Okay, somebody else? Okay. Thank you for listening again. You wanted to ask something? Yes?
What kind of method do you use for teaching the pantomime? Just teaching by rote every time, each time, or they just learn by ear? Or what kind of method do you use
To train the song?
to teach the song?
Okay. So normally I give them the text, and then when I know the song very good and very well, because they bring songs into the class, I don't know all the songs, so I have to learn with them also. But when I know the song, then I play it with the piano and sing it, and we rehearse it like this. So they sing again, and we train it like this. Sometimes when the song also for me is new, and they bring it and say, we want to sing this song, then I also start YouTube, and we listen to it together. But as I am a musician, I can play a song very fast, and I don't need to hear it 10 times. So I always try to at least sing the refrain after listening to the song with the piano, so that it's getting good melody lines and not just singing a little bit. Because I don't like playback singing that much. I think it's not good for good melody lines, but that's my part.
In the examples you've shown us in the videos,
Yep.
the kids were mostly not moving at all, and not even clapping or using their body to mark the rhythm. How do you address the rhythm question and the relation with the body as an instrument to?
In this choir situation that you've seen, I don't do it. I do a lot of body percussion to train rhythm and to train the a good feeling, but not in these songs, no.
They were mostly moving themselves, not using body. I mean, there was a camera, so
Yeah, that's true, yes. Okay. Thank you, and have a good